the Hooffields and the McColts. So there's this weird old-looking character. I think there was it was something about some uncle, or not uncle, some aunt or grandma, I think, in the episode where Pinky and Applejack were they were trying to see if they were actually related. I don't know, that just looks kind of like that character. I don't know if it actually is though. I don't know, so I guess this will be about that relationship, unless this is a different character that I'm thinking of. I mean, the Hooffields and the McColts. I don't know, for some reason that sounds like sports teams to me. I doubt that's what this will be about though. And it looks like this is on a farm. I don't know. But okay, so I was thinking about Star again. I think it's like, I don't know, ever since like the ending of season 4 of this show, because of like how similar that like ending fight was. That's why I really started to see why so many people say there's so many similarities between those shows. And honestly, it kind of seems like Star is actually inspired by My Little Pony in a lot of ways. Even though I don't think there's no like direct references that I can think of. That again, I wouldn't have seen them if I had because I haven't watched the show since I started watching My Little Pony. Just every time I say the show's name, it's just the most absurd thing. There's the pony head character, but whatever. Okay, but I think I realized the reason why I like Star, despite like the plot holes and stuff, that terrible ending, it's because on an episode basis, like, things happen. There's jokes, there's moments, there's funny things. It's interesting to watch. Like, I still was entertained by the Star ending, even though it was a terrible finale. It was still interesting to watch, whereas pretty much all of these episodes, I just don't even care. They're just so forgettable. And it's like, if you look back at all the arcs, it's like, okay, Twilight going to the new place, becoming a princess, getting her wings, and new responsibilities. Okay, Rainbow or obsessing over the Wonderbolts, then meeting them, and then going to the academy. Okay, there's that. Fluttershy kind of with stage fright stuff. There's not really much of an arc there. Applejack's relationship with her sister. The Kingdom Hearts Crusaders working to get their marks. Like, there's a lot of things that happen very slowly over time, but it's so boring to watch on an individual episode basis. Like, if you step back and look at the big picture, yeah, things happen, but it's not entertaining. At least, I mean, obviously this is all my opinion. I feel like it's not obvious from how I'm saying this, but anyways, like, it's just not interesting to watch on an episode basis. But then, like, Star, every episode is just fun to watch. It's interesting to watch. Whereas these episodes, the majority of the time, I'm literally just staring at my screen with a blank face, just like, okay, this is what they're doing now. And it's so boring. So, yeah, I could keep rambling, but I think that's the main difference between that's the reason why I like Star, but I cannot stand this show most of the time. Fluttershy again? So it's a book club. Oh, is this her mark glowing? Okay, so this is gonna be another map episode. So this will be Twilight and Fluttershy, since the other ones had the other 4 characters. Okay, to the point, cold opening. There's that. You know, I'm kind of surprised none of those, like, reoccurring characters in the background that are, like, in that Slice of Life episode. They're not really in the intro. At least I didn't see any of them. So yeah, Twilight's excited to go on this, since she was so excited about going on the other 2 ones. And yep, she's going crazy about this. And there's the joke. This happened in 5 minutes, because she's so nervous about it. Also, these are the 2 characters I hate the least, so yeah. And I guess this isn't about that grandma character. And there's their little satchels, and they're heavy. Okay then. Okay, those noises that Fluttershy was making sounded like orgasm noises. That was a little disturbing. I think it's because of the like, kind of high-pitched voice. And so they're going to the place.
Little skiddly boppy boo.
What the skiddly boppily boo? Whatever the hell she said. So I guess these 2 fortresses things are fighting each other. What is that music? That melody just sounded so familiar. Oh, is this just gonna be family rivalry? 2 sides don't like each other? Is this literally just gonna be that basic plot? Oh no, the rats and Fluttershy's gonna be sad about that. I don't know, pretty boring so far. I don't know, they're setting it up like it's gonna be the most basic plot thing. I don't know, I don't think they usually just go with a straight, just generic plot entirely. At least recently. Okay, so they recognize Twilight. What? And there's this guy. What? He just yells and destroys the house. I still can't get over the fucking butt shots. It's so creepy. I don't mention them that often anymore, but like, oh, it's like every episode there's so many. It looks like they're purposely trying to like stick them into the camera. Ugh. This guy is annoying. I haven't really said much. I don't know. It's just kind of the simple plot of, look, there's these two sides that are fighting against each other, and they have some petty problem, and they have to figure out how they're gonna fix the problems. I guess so. She's just gonna say stop fighting, and then it's not gonna work. Now they're throwing tomatoes. Now now the other family is gonna fight back. And now they're gonna keep fighting because they both have to just agree to stop fighting. Just agree to peace. But they're not gonna do that. I guess here comes a turtle joke. There's Fluttershy being upset about the animals and rescuing them. Yeah, they just said they know what they did. Is this literally just the basic stupid plot? Like, okay, now this is the, what's it called? The Trojan horse thing. There's gonna be someone hiding in the cake so that they can attack the other people. So they're just gonna give them the cake and it's gonna be evil. And so Twilight thinks this is the solution, but nope, it's not. There it is. How surprising. So all of the characters from each of these different families are all like the same set of shades of color, but most of the other families have different colored like horses. So it kind of feels like they're implying that these two families are inbred. I'm reading way too deep into it, I'm sure, but that's what it seems like. Because if they weren't inbred, then there would be lots of different, like, there would just be a lot more different colors, since there's so many different colors of the character's skin. Unlike humans, where there's only like one gradient, basically. These characters are all different colors of the rainbow. Yeah, it's 15 minutes into this episode, and it's still just on the basic, the two families are fighting. There's no solution to fix it. They don't know how they're gonna do this. They have to figure out the end solution. I guess somehow the animals are gonna be important here. So all the animals are hungry. So it was supposed to be beautiful, and then the feud destroyed everything, I guess is where they're going. So the animals know what happens, and that's why Fluttershy was called, but then Twilight was called to stuff. What the fuck? Okay, she's just using some magic shit. So it all started at two different people. So I guess these two assholes made one dick move towards each other. They disagreed on how to... Okay. And then there's the feud. They disagreed on how to make the society. And there you go. Now the feud begins. And then they started families. And then the whole inbred... They got inbred. And then this is, there you go. That's the basic goddamn story. I guess there's some continuity between the things. The one side has a well-made building and no plants or anything. And then the other side has really shitty buildings but lots of plants. And look, they're all sad, and now it's all great, and now they're all happy. Whee! Happy time! Whee! Ugh. I don't know, especially for it being the map thing. I mean, it's kind of boring. Because, I mean, at least the one with Rarity and Applejack was, like, in a place they've been to before. And there was, like, some meaning there, since the place was already established. And the same thing with Rainbows and Pinky's thing, since there was the Griffin one. Now they're fighting about dumb shit, but then gonna quickly realize how they're being dumb. But yeah, this is just some random place that was never introduced before, and has probably no significance. Though I don't know, the last season had all those special items or whatever. What am I saying? The special items are important for the season 4 finale. So I guess all this map stuff is gonna be important for the season 5 finale. I still hate the guy with the tall hat. His voice is so... It's like not goofy funny, it's just goofy and annoying. It's like, oh, I talk like this because I talk now with no accent. It's like, just shut up. And there's the marks glowing, and then now they're saying the map, like all of them were called and they're pointing that out. Oh, fucking hell. Just whatever. So this one, really dumb though. Okay, so Twilight and Fluttershy are called through the map. They're the last two characters to not be called, and they're called to this place that's supposed to be this big fancy environment or whatever. You got all these plants and shit. Then they get there and it's just these two assholes fighting on these cliffs. It's just the plot where there's the two fighting sides and that's it. They're both fighting, but they don't actually have a reason to fight, so they're just continuing to fight. And then because neither of them will agree to just say, oh, we were wrong, and just make up, then they just keep fighting. And then in the end, the thing that makes them stop fighting, because obviously they stop fighting in this episode, is the animals. They realize, oh, we're screwing over the animals, and then they realize that the whole feud started for some dumb reason, and they missed the whole point of why they were even in this place in the first place. I mean, compared to the other map episodes, this one's even worse, because at least the first two were in, like, things that were already established and had some sense of something, because Pinky and Rainbow had the the Griffins thing, which was established way back in season 1, I think. Then there was Applejack and Rarity in the Manhattan city with that other character that was established somewhere. I know I just remember they were because they mentioned it in the episode. So at least there was something there with those two, like as far as meaning there. But then this is just some random other place, and I'm guessing these two characters are just going to be completely irrelevant. They're just these two like families are just going to be never mentioned again, or if anything, it'll just be a dumb reference that doesn't matter. There was nothing funny about this one, nothing really meaningful. I mean, as I said in the beginning with the intro thing, this is what I mean. Nothing about this was interesting. I'm sure this map thing is going to be important to the greater story, but it still isn't interesting to look at or watch. It was just really boring. It's just not entertaining. That's the problem. Like I could make up a story about, I don't know, some idiot going to high school, and he starts out failing his classes, and then he's like, oh, I gotta study harder, and then starts getting like decent grades, and then make 100 episodes of him just going to school and interacting with friends and having boring interactions, but make it all culminate into one really continuous story that all builds and works together. And that would be a horrible show, or at least a horrible story, or like a horrible story, because it wouldn't be interesting. Nothing would happen in any particular episode, even though each episode would build up towards him, passing all his classes. And I feel like My Little Pony is essentially a less extreme version of what I just described, because there is some stuff that happens. It's not like it's literally just some asshole sitting in a desk for 200 episodes, but it's just boring. Like, it's not interesting to watch. It's not fun to watch. It's not entertaining. There's nothing. Like, even, 13 Reasons Why, Season 2. That show is such a horrible representation of mental health, but it's still entertaining to watch, because stuff just constantly happens, and there's so much ridiculous shit, and at times it's unintentionally funny because of how bad it is. Like, I think there's there's this like serious scene of Bryce just like sitting in a chair, and there's like a fake dick in his pants, and it looks like it's like a foot long, and it's like this serious scene, like, oh, here's the evil villain guy because he did evil things or whatever, and then there's just this giant erection in his pants, and it's just like, what the fuck? But that to me is better than something that is so painfully boring like this show. Like that's it. Okay. And I'm still watching I'm gonna be watching the rest of this episode and the next episode at the same time, and then the season finale at the same time, and then I don't know, it'll be like a week before I watch the what's it called? The next Equestria Girls movie, because I don't have a place where I can record for over Thanksgiving. Oh, and I forgot to give this a rating. This was really unoriginal and boring, so I give this 3 out of 10. It had stuff sort of happening, but just so boring.